Welcome. This is Final Boss. Someone asked a very good question on stream today about I was talking about building a wish list for my story, and I wanted to talk through and kind of develop a little tip video for those of you who might find it useful for your stories. So this is very, very early stage, generally for me, and obviously it varies for different people. Some people, after they figure out a concept for the story, so a log line or like a single line summary of what the story will be, and I have a video explaining log lines if you're curious, but some people begin after that, where they have the concept and then they fill in some of the details of the story. In this world, let's say it's a world ruled by dragons. This is a silly example. What are some of the cool things that we can have in the story that will emerge in a world ruled by dragons? What are the things we wish would happen? Or this can be before the logline. So when you're just saying, hey, I have these concepts I want to play around with, things that are interesting to me, and I want to explore that. So for me, a wish list usually, in my writing process at least, it comes before I write a logline. So I generate a lot of ideas in terms of four main categories. What are characters I'm interested in developing? And I'll just write a bullet point list. I was looking for a way to show it to you, but it probably just easier just to see. I would just list a bullet point list of all these different characters. This is a pirate that feels really guilty about stealing or whatever, silly things like that. Then I'll write, and this is also from John Truby's book, Anatomy of Story. I think he talks about this as well. Then I'll write a list of plot points. What are some cool moments that could happen to any character or even specific characters? Hey, someone, like sort of like in the Brandon Sanderson book, it's a very common theme of someone gaining power, ascending to godhood. That's like one of his plot moment themes that comes in, or wishes that seems to come into his work a lot. So, what are some of those big plot changing moments that I want to see happen in a story that gets me really excited? The next thing is setting. What are some world building pieces? That kind of example about the dragon story. Hey, dragons are running the government. They're in control. They're, maybe, humans are slaves, and maybe it's like Mistborn where they're trying to do a heist. I'm giving a lot of Brandon Sanderson examples because that's, just off the top of my head. But that's another thing to add to your wish list. What are some cool worlds? What are some cool magic systems? What are some cool, religions or whatever that you want to put in the world? And the last thing, what are the themes you want to explore? And this kind of, people would argue it's almost more important. What are some truths about the human experience? What are the emotions you want your story to evoke for the reader? I want to invoke loss. I want to, make a reader feel that it's okay to feel sad and to grieve. All those types of things would go into the emotional section of your wish list. So building this big document is really, really helpful for me before I get to the log line. So when I have this big document, I can look across my characters, my plot points, my world building settings, and my themes and find interesting combinations that will make a good spine plot or log line that can carry a story, a short story, a novel, doesn't matter. Some people do it, hey, I have this idea for a specific story, and they build out a wish list for that story. And I do that too. So I kind of do a wish list sandwich in a lot of ways. And so one of the examples I wanted to share was from the Double Fine documentary. This is about gaming. I'll put the link in chat. I think this will work. And it should show up on the screen. No, it won't. But it'll, darn, I don't think it'll show up on the screen. But anyways, it's the Double Fine Adventure Episode 2 documentary. I'll show you just a little image by Double Fine Prod. But essentially, he does a free writing wish list. And this is obviously someone's approach, and it's essentially a wish list. He's trying to figure out a title here, but he's just not letting his pencil stop working while he's free writing. And this is how he came up with a title. I'll make sure the volume's loud enough here.
For Grim Fandango, let's see. Here's me talking about Mexican folklore, and then here's me trying to figure out the name of the game. Dead leads, deadly deeds, deeds of death, death's deeds. Here's trying to come up with ideas for the name. Reaper's Holiday, Reaper's Road Trip, Reaper's Rendezvous, Reaper's Last Ride, Reaper's Road, Trail of the Reaper, Tools of the Reaper, Death of the Salesman.
So again, you can see a lot of this kind of wish list level concepting. And while you might not do more full free writing like that, like, so he's just saying, I'm trying to figure out a title. I'm just going to like not let my pen stop moving while I generate content or a wish list of potential titles. And he was using this as a specific device to find the best title. Uh, However, for me in my writing, one of the things I find is really, really effective is doing some free writing, or at least some idea generation around those four topics. And then from there, you can either step it up into a full log line, something that's describing a core story, or even after that log line saying, okay, now that I have the world decided, now that I have the character decided, what are some awesome things that can happen in this world? What are some things that would get me excited to read? And most likely, if you're wish listing, well, like, a world with dragons in control, well, yeah, someone's got to take down the Dragon King. Someone's got to, break into the palace and have to sneak around and use their humanity. If they're human, like, they're smaller, so they have to use that as an advantage. Those types of things you could add to a wish list of that story. And then when you go into the beat outline or you're plotting, you have guideposts, wishes, places that you want to get to that will help you structure your plot around. And once you know, hey, these are some of the awesome things I can have in this world, obviously you're not going to get everything on a wish list in there, but those can be some good guideposts to guide you as you go through your story. So hopefully this writing tip video was helpful. You can find more on our YouTube, which I guess you are on right now if you're looking at it. So, like the video if you want me to make more of these, if they're helpful, and if not, then no worries. Just let me know. Anyways, we're on stream pretty regularly, so give us a shout. Bye, everybody.